All right, so let's just take a couple of breaths coming in for a landing in your body. In this moment on the planet with all the other people on the planet. Inhale, radiate out, opening up into the vertical plane. On the exhale, letting out, maybe letting out a sound. Inhale, open. Exhale, like a big sigh. I just want to shake too. So if you feel like shaking, shake. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Letting everything go. Full deep breath, expansive, opening, opening. Exhale, bouncing, shaking, releasing, letting go of whatever you need to let go of. And two more. Inhale, open, exhale, shake it all out like a dog getting out of the water, getting all that, whatever it is, off of yourself. Inhale, open. And exhale, refresh, let it go, release, breathe. And then let's take it into the horizontal plane, just spiraling from side to side. I'm going to shut a door. Spiraling, twisting, inner body, getting some mobility right down that central column, central channel. Breathing. As you're turning from side to side, just take in the space around you. Maybe it's coming in very fast. Maybe you're going slower, whatever feels right to you today. I'm actually giving myself a hit here on my hips. So if that feels good, give yourself a little bang. Tap it out. And so before we started, one of the people in my room was saying that she's kind of sore in and around here. And I taught at the gym yesterday. We did a bunch of tendus and batmas and things like that. And my hips are also sore. And for me, I can do the forward fold and move around, and that helps. But the biggest thing that helps is rolling around the floor. So let's start with the forward fold, shifting from side to side, head, tail, freeing up. So think of the whole relationship from your tail out to your head. This kinetic chain of movement moving through your body. And then bring it in and come up. And let's just take it a little deeper into almost a squat. I'm kind of parallel. I'm not going all the way down, but I'm getting into my hips. I'm reaching out through my tail. This would be the hover, right? Oh, I don't want to sit on the toilet seat. Let me just hover. So finding that balance point in the middle where there's not so much gripping in your quads. And then go ahead and just shift your weight forwards and backwards on your feet. So you're shifting towards your toes, shifting towards your heels. If you're a dude, you might not be that familiar with this position. Maybe you are, I don't know. Shifting forward and backward. And then we're going to take it all the way down to the floor, all the way down to the floor, and do some rolling. Here is Gaylord joining in the circus. Hello. So starting with just side to side rolling. So on your back, kind of like a bug landing on the floor. I don't know what it's the dead bug, right? Like that. Let yourself be like that. Let your tissue in your body drop down toward the floor. Obviously, the water and fluid in your body is going to spool downward. So rolling from side to side. At the same time, that water in the body is also suspended within your body, right? Inside your skin. Oh, I have big bruises on my arms from something we did in pole on Saturday, especially on this arm. So it feels really great to roll across it. Try to let your head, neck, and shoulders just melt as you roll from side to side. You can think of really pouring yourself across the floor. So almost like there's nothing inside holding you except for water that's rolling like a wave from one side to the other. So imagining that all the tendons, fascia, bones, everything is just whoosh, just fluid, moving from side to side, really relaxed and easy, just in your imagination. Gaylord is looking very excited this morning. I don't know what's going on with him. And then you can open up and roll it from side to side there, letting that massage through your back. There he is. It's a very rare sighting that Gaylord goes into that part of the cat tower, but he has a harder time jumping up to the top. he's really being funny this morning. And then you're going to change it, open your arms out and gentle spiral. If you want to make this easier, lower your feet down to the floor. So if you want to go more gentle, feet are going to be on the floor, and maybe that's a good place to start, although I feel like I'm actually ready to go for the big spiral. So listen into your body. Let this really massage out the hips. So think of, sometimes we're thinking of moving to work our muscles, to work the system of tensegrity that is our body. And then come into center and just circle your knees, lubricating up your hip sockets, releasing your lower back, letting the movement give your spine a little bit of arch and curl. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. He's feisty this morning, Gaylord. I don't know why. Well, it's good to see him feisty. Change direction. I kind of want to open the door and see if they're going to do the long run out from the back porch in, if he's the only one being so excited or if the other two are equally excited. All right, and let's take it into just working our back a little bit more. So let's do this with rolling up through your spine. Oh, he's having his own event, I think, and then rolling it back down. Oh no, he's maybe battling it out with the Peapod. Nope, he's battling it out by himself. It's really funny, as if the Peapod is there, rolling it up and down. Oh no, she is there. I'll say that looks like a aggressive run on Gaylord's part, but she had well hidden inside behind the couch and he can't fit back there. So anyway, that's the shenanigans going on in my house. Rolling up, rolling down. When you come to the bottom, you can try taking a little rock. In your rock, see if you can relax your guts, relax your head and neck. Just letting the fluid in your body have some flow, free flow. So you're not contracted and constricted, but you're letting it move. And this is also massaging out the fascia in your lower back. There's a big band of connective tissue fascia coming in down here, anchoring your, well, it's weird to say anchoring because I feel like an anchor seems like something really heavy and not alive. So that's the problem with most of our imagery for human bodies, is that it's usually these sort of mechanical or non-living images. But so the tissue in the back is kind of Ving down into here. And when we just move that tissue, even with like your hands, just moving the tissue, getting in, you're going to give a little more differentiation and hopefully some shear on the layers of your fascia. And then let's take a quick happy baby pose. So we're not like working our hardest right now. We're kind of working more easily, or let me speak for myself. I am not aiming to go for any huge burn at the moment or like working hard in that sense. More working just to get the muscles and the tendons and the tissues and the bones in this slightly warmed up relationship. So I think we think in fitness of like the warm up, which is great, but there's another way of thinking of it as just tissue prep, that we're getting our body ready to do more. Let's do a little more now. Let's take our legs up to the ceiling, and you're going to flex your feet and then point, take it down. Yes, if you hear the kerfuffle, it is Gaylord and Peapod having a run around. It's better when he chases the white kitty, because the white kitty can fight back a little bit better. When he fights with the Peapod, he's a lot bigger than her. And the funny thing is that Gaylord is the one that ends up getting hurt because she claws him in the face. So, and I keep trying to cut her nails, but she's not into it at all. So I can usually get 1 or 2. All right, let's change it. 1 in, 1 out, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and relax. Open up, free up your spine, wiggle around, relax your head and neck, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Wriggle like an eel. I feel like the cat, the eel image has already come into my head because the cat kind of goes into behind the couch. Peapod goes and hides behind the couch. And it's kind of like an eel. If you've ever been snorkeling and seen the eel, where they kind of go in, but their little head is there. They're in the coral, but they can see out. So wriggle your body, your spine like an eel. And then let's work a little bit more with the back. We're going to, let's use the block. Block is going to go in between your knees. So here's the block, it's going in between this way. And we're going to press our pelvises up, feet are parallel, hands can be down by your sides or out to the sides. Right now, out to the side feels better to me than down here. So listen to your own body. I just want that width for me. And what you're going to do is just dip one hip down a few inches, and then inhale both hips up, dip the other hip down, inhale, lift. One hip dips, inhale, press, the other hip dips. Inhale up, dipping on one side, press it up, dipping on the other. Inhale, lift, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, keep the block in there, and let's circle the hips. Easy circles around from side to side. Very different when you have the block in there. Well, for me, change direction, circle the other way. So your block is sort of stabilizing the knees and the lower legs, and you're mobilizing your spine. You can let your head move in any way that feels good. So we're not locking ourselves in place. Come into center, roll it down through your spine. Inhale your arms up over your head, deep breath in on the exhale, press it up, and let's lift the heels and then lower the heels. Inhale down, fill up your lungs, exhale, press, unfolding and push up. Lower the heels, fold, drop it down. Exhale, press it up, take all the way off, heels up, lower the heels, inhale down, exhale, launch yourself up, press, lower the heels, and inhale down. We're going to do this totally differently. So on the exhale, this time you're going to leave your arms over your head, and you're going to, it's almost like you're launching off of a runway. Your torso is going to take a deep breath. You're going to, and take a little forward pelvic shift where you're giving a bit of a pull on your hamstring. So I'm going to leave my arms over my head for this. Inhaling, exhale. And you can exhale part of the way out. I really like the image of a plane taking off a runway. Like, here's the inhale, here's the exhale. And then there's this little reach out and up. So we're kind of elongating the body as we go up. We're not going so high. The knees are reaching out and away. That's sort of a more Irmgard Bartenia fundamental way of doing that, called the forward pelvic shift. I feel like all the ways going up and down, just unfolding and folding is great. Rolling up and down, also great. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. Let's walk the feet a little further away. Press it up, flex your feet, and take a pulse. So you're pulsing on the diagonal, maybe feeling your hamstrings engaging a little bit more long through your torso. You're not crunching in, you're elongating. And then try putting your feet down and the same thing, pulling forward and backward. So flex your feet, pulling forward and backward, and then feet down, pulling it forward and backward. And at some point you may start cramping, at which point come down. Flex your feet, pull, tops of the feet, and come down after this one. Take your time. If you were cramping in there, for me, I tend to cramp if I haven't drank enough water and if I've drank too much coffee. So it may be different for you. Go ahead and open it up. Little hamstring stretch, happy baby. Finding the inner and outer space. Oh, hello there. The Peapod is here. Hi. And then let's go with one leg in and one leg out, just reaching in and out. Once you get into a stretch there, I want you to kind of rock your leg towards you, rounding your spine, and then rock it down. So you're rocking in, rocking down, letting your lower body curl, and then they have to do it. They have to scratch on the mat. In and down. So I'm keeping the relationship, the angle between my legs the same as I'm doing this rock, just curling up my lower back and then lengthening down, curling up and lengthening down. And then I'm going to try just increasing my stretch and opening it up. So big, big hamstring stretch. And from there, I'm going to inhale my knee out to the, or my leg out to the side, opening. And then I'm going to cross over, crossing my midline. Inhaling and opening out to the side, exhale, crossing over. So I'm keeping my back fairly stable, but not by clenching and engaging, just by really keeping the bones aligned so that my hips are pointing up to the ceiling and I'm not really falling open and closed, so that I'm getting this movement of the femur head in my hip socket. And all that tissue that's connecting into my legs, into my leg, this leg, but also the other one, is getting mobility, right? Then I'm going to come up, and in that lifted position, I'm just going to turn my leg in and out. And I'm in a kind of a relaxed foot, but almost pointed. I'm going to try it flexed, rotating the leg in and out. You can lower it down if you need to. You can look at my beautiful knee taping that I have on, and then trying that again, in and out with a tippy toe position, in and out with a pointed toe position. I don't know, people call it flossing when you're doing that turning in and out. Flossing, I don't know, flossing, just not into that word for it, but I guess it works. All right, we're changing it to the other leg before I forget the whole thing. Other leg is going to come up, keeping them the same, curling up and taking it down. So it's a little bit of an abdominal curl, but I can also think of just moving with my legs. Rocking it in, rocking it out, trying to maintain basically the same relationship between your legs, although it may be changing a little. I'm noticing that on this side that it's changing a lot more. Couple more times. And then I'm going to straighten out the bottom leg. You can bend if you're tighter in your hamstrings. Go ahead and bend that bottom leg, even the top leg. Taking the leg in towards you, giving yourself more of a stretch, lengthening through the back of the hamstring. And then from here, opening out to the diagonal and crossing your midline. Inhaling as you open, exhale as you close. So I can feel this all the way into my sacrum. And I feel like I can feel it like down here into my tailbone. This, even as I'm sort of still there, I can feel how, as I shift my leg, the relationship. So that when we're talking about the biotensegrity, the whole sort of matrix structure of your body is intimately connected as a wholeness pattern with a lot of elasticity. It's a system of tensions and countertensions that are always in relationship. I'm going to show you one in a second as a model. So opening and closing. Good. And then coming in and trying that internal and external rotation. You can lower that leg down a bit. I'm not going to have as much movement if I'm up here as I do when I lower it down a little bit. So relaxed foot, flexed foot, demi point, full point, and shake it out, let it go. Hopefully that's the same thing I did on the other side. Just gonna look in there because Saul would know. Yeah. Okay. And let's just do some internal rotation. So opening your feet wide, internally rotate one leg and then the other. Spiraling in. So I have this setback on my knee, but it's not the same injury that I had before. It's slightly different. It's a little bit more in the front. And it's also not like super painful when I move. It's just painful and it's not inflamed. So it's a really interesting shift of injury. And I know exactly what was going on when I got it. Like I felt it happen and it wasn't really that much like it, I don't know. It was like, it could have been fine. All right, you're going to take one knee down, cross the other one over, spiral open, breathe into it. Radiating out into space, right? Radiating out, taking up space with your body, but also surrendering into the floor. So we're doing, this expansive radiation, but we're also dropping down. And by radiation, I mean radiating out away from center. Like radiation has taken on both good and bad things. A radiant smile, a radiant body, radiant heat. Other side going on. Feel the play between extending out and away and just surrendering into the floor. So there's a radiation out and then dropping down. And you could just shift between those two things, and on a small level inside your body, you're having this and then release and this and release. All right, tensegrity structure. These are tensegrity structures. This, and there's that other one in the corner. And this has these struts and this elasticity. And if we were thinking about the body, like let's just say this was a bone, it also would be curvilinear, right? It wouldn't be these sort of straight lines. But even in this plastic PVC piping and elastic icosahedral form, it's a little wonky icosahedron. If I move one thing, it affects the whole, right? See, if I just move this hand forward and backward on this strut, the whole thing is spiraling. So that's a tensegrity. And there's a lot of people who are into this, but one person is this guy who was an orthopedic surgeon. His name is Stephen Levine. And he coined the term biotensegrity from Buckminster Fuller and Snelson, who came up with tensegrity. But the biotensegrity is the version in the human body of how we are so deeply interrelated within our body. Everything is woven in and moving through. It's not still or stuck. Even if we feel still and stuck, within that, there's a lot of movement. All right, let's actually come up to standing and play with our big tensegrity structures. So we're going to play in the vertical plane first, just reaching into high right, high left, low right, and low left. Big weight shift, high right, high left, low right. So we've mostly done a lot of back body stuff and front body stuff. And we did some twisting and we did some rolling around. Think of really finding these diagonals across your body. So maybe reach it out, bring it in, reach it out again, right? Out, in, out, out, in, out. Actually, it feels like it should be in, out, in, switch, in, out, in, switch, in, out, in, switch. I'm getting very modern dancey here. In, out, in, reach, in, out, in, reach, in. Letting my head really go off vertical in this side space. Good. And then come in. And so we were in the vertical plane. Here's our vertical dimension. We open it out. We have the vertical plane. Let's go into the sagittal plane with rolling down, letting this part of our back open up, bent knees. Just an easy sort of swing. Inhale up, exhale down. On the next one, let the inhale take you all the way up, and then the exhale down and back. Inhale up, down and back. Thinking of the centrifugal force of that circle, of that wheel, really lengthening you out as you come up and as you go down. Big breathing. Let's add a circle on top. So we're going to go down. We're going to come up, circle the arms, reach for the heavens, circle the arms, take it down. Circle the arms, reach for the heavens. Check out the Peapod. Hi. Using your breath. Circling around in the wheel plane, even though, because my arms don't go totally back, I am opening out a little bit for that. All right, let's go hands on shoulders, curling forward, opening up, arching back. Big, full lungs. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Spaciousness in the rib cage, lungs, and heart. Changing direction with the arms. Out and up, and then down. Curl. Reaching out and up. Looking up and then down. Out and up. And down. Oh, it's too irresistible to see the little Peapod down here. And then relax, shake it out. And let's move through the horizontal plane, but with, you're gonna move towards me. Let's start on, it'll be your left. So left forward middle, right forward middle, left back middle, right back middle. So you're kind of skating through the room and then skating backwards. This has nothing to do with skating backward, but the going forward does feel like skating to me. The backwards, not so much. Forward, forward, middle, backward, backward. So right forward middle, or left forward middle, right forward middle, left back middle, right back middle. So we're doing this all open in the front, taking up space, and we're also using both sides of our body. Let's switch it so that we're going to cross. So let's go with your right. Oh, what is the Peapod doing here? She doesn't like to be picked up very much. But I have to just show her to you because she's so cute. All right. She doesn't like to be flipped over. She had some like medical problems when she was little, and she is a Manx, so don't worry about her tail. She was born with the tail like that, but she did have some medical things, and I think whatever happened to her at the vet freaked her out. So she's got like some hidden traumas that you find when you try and pick her up sometimes. But she's so sweet and gentle. All right. Sorry, it's all about the cats today. What can I say? That's what's happening. They're such good little buddies. All right, so we're going to use the right hand, or your right hand, my left hand, and we're going to cross on the diagonal, and then we're going to open to the back diagonal. So crossing to the front diagonal and to the back. In Laban, we do not call these actually diagonals. We call them diameters when they're inside of a plane. Not that you guys need to know that, but if you are a Laban person watching this. Okay, that's one. Let's go with the other side. So we're crossing in the front and opening in the back. Crossing in the front, And you can pick up that back leg and then pick up the front leg, crossing and opening. Other side of the body working as a counter tension, crossing and opening. It's funny. So I had this knee thing, but it actually feels really good to be moving right now. So this isn't hurting. And this is my own version of taping because I'm like, what does it want? In this case, that was what it wanted. All right. Now we're going to cross to the back and open to the front. So there she is. There she is. Okay, I'm just going to have to share it with you. We'll let the cat play for a second. You can see how very skilled she is at charging around. And basically, this cat wants to play at all times. There's nothing else that she wants to do. She's not even an eating enthusiast like the other two. Okay. Okay. Now back to crossing in the back, open in the front. So we'll go with this hand, open in the front, and crossing to the back. Open. If you're not a cat lover and you're watching this, maybe just switch to another day. But if you are a cat lover, enjoy the cat play. Good. And then the same thing on the other side. Open in the front and cross in the back. Did we just do that? Yeah, we did. Open in the front, crossing to the back. Open to the front, crossing to the back. Open to the front, crossing to the back. And then switching, crossing to the front, open to the back, crossing to the front, open to the back. Very hard to do all this movement with the cat. Other side, crossing to the front, open to the back, crossing to the front, open to the back. Yes, she's so into it today. All right, let's come down to the floor, do a little bit more arm stuff, a little bit more core stuff. It's hard to do all the stepping around when there is a tiny person who's right at your feet. All right, coming into a forearm plank. Let's do knee to the floor, cross it under, come up and come back down. Knee to the floor, cross it under, bring it up to the plank, come back down. Parallel, twist, up, down, parallel, twist, up, down. Last one, parallel, twist, up, down, and take it all the way down to the floor. And let's take the arms out to the sides, upper body lifting, circles. And then flex through the heels of the hands, same direction. And then fists towards the floor, same direction. And hands next to your chest. Arch all the way up, open. And then take it back. Child's pose. Round your spine, come up, bring it back down to the floor. Arms out to the side, circling forward. Flex through the heels of the hand. Fists down to the floor. Hands next to your chest. Inhale up. Let's go up and down a few times. And exhale down, using your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Opening up. Push the floor away. And exhale, down. Open and lift. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale, reach it up. Take it back. Curl your toes under. I think I have to take this big sweater off and tuck in my shirt. Take it into a downward dog. Walking through your feet, bend one knee, bend the other. Let's go for the rolling plank. So you're going to lift your heels, scoop your belly in, round your spine, roll it forward, slowly lower it down to the floor. Go ahead and come into the up dog. Push through. Bend your knees, curl your toes under, reach your tail back,
into the down dog. Lifting your heels high, scoop your belly in, round your spine, roll it all the way forward. Find your plank, slowly lower down, push through into the up dog, curl your toes under, butt to the ceiling, coming up. Last one, heels high, scoop your belly in, round your spine, roll it forward, slowly lower down, push through, lift it up. I'm going with this bent knees, taking it back, reaching with my tail, because I just feel like it. You can always do a push up to do that. Let's take the right leg up as high as it can go, open it to the side, touch it down to the floor, lift it as high as it can go, down to the floor. Other side, lift it up, open it to the side, touch it down, lift it up to the back and lower. Right leg, poke a hole to the ceiling, out to the side, touch it down, reach up and lower. Left leg as high as it can go, out to the side, touch it down, reach up and lower, and bring both knees down to the floor. Come onto your forearms, and you're gonna push into your forearms as you externally, and then internally rotate your hands, getting the tissue in your forearm to sort of massage itself out, but having this movement inside the body as the radius and ulna uncross and cross. So here the radius is crossed over the ulna. As we undo it, we open it out, they're parallel. And I'm pushing into the floor so that I'm getting some weight into that. All right, and then we're going to come up, tippy fingers, in your tippy fingers position, circling your shoulders, or circling yourself inside of your shoulders. If this finger position doesn't work, you can also do knuckles. Circling your body inside of your arms, and then change direction, go the other way. Find your breath. Let your spine, you could go for like a full cat, cow, head, tail stuff happening in there. Or you can keep the spine fairly elongated as you really mobilize those scapula on your back. And then come in, sit on your butt, take your legs, take your hands behind you. Fingertips are going to be pointing back. Lift and arch, push into the floor with the hands, open the chest and lungs. If it feels okay to drop your head back, drop your head back. If it hurts, don't drop it back. And then let that release, hands forward, same thing, pushing through, opening, ribcage, lungs, heart, pressing forward, opening into the space. Soften and curl, hands are going to go out, press up. Breathe into it. And then release, and let's take it back down onto your back on the floor. Just shake everything out. Jiggle, free up the spine. Let go. Letting go of anything that is not serving you, anything you're ready to let go of, any weird tensions or holding patterns. Give them some space. Interior spaciousness by not crunching and condensing, but by giving ourselves that breath flow, internal shape shifting through the movement of the breath. Finding some ease inside our body. So let's free flow the arms, and let's add a theta breath. So theta breath is going to be a soft hiss, exhale, not a harsh hiss, not like an angry, I got hissed at by a goose yesterday. So not like an angry goose protecting the babies. It was actually the male and the female too, but they were like, no, don't come near the babies. But it was pretty cute. It's not an angry hiss. It's a very gentle hiss. So gentle hiss, conduct the most, I don't know, effulgent, wonderful choir of whatever filigree flowers. Move the air. It could be, you could have, like, if you think of like a really amazing orchestral piece, there's a lot going on in there, right? I mean, some of them are minimalist, but a lot of times there's a whole lot of different flavors, like allegros, adagios, things that are speeding up, slowing down. So let your body sort of play with that as if you're conducting the most wonderful piece of movement music in the world. I was listening to the radio and there was a piece of music on there. It was mandolins playing Bach. And it was amazing. Like I could hear it and I knew it was Bach, but I was like, wait, it sounded like guitars almost. And it was actually a violin concerto. So let yourself have some variety in terms of your conducting, both in your spatial choices and also in how your arms are flowing. Like, oh, here's the soft, gentle string section, and then the timpani, boom, 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 or whatever. Like, bring it all in there. Everything has value in movement some of the time, but not everything all the time. And since we spend so much time, like kind of in these contracted positions with like restricted movement and visual fields, let this be expansive. So you're opening up your visual field, there's free flow in your arms, and thinking of free flow like on the atomic level in your body. Free flow in the cellular level in your body. There's enough order in your body. You don't need to impose more order right at this moment. And if you want to get more free flow with the whole exploration, go for it. It could be a whole body thing where you're really checking out the possibilities of movement from being in that space. What can I do? What would it feel like if? How does that mandolin want to play? Am I plucking, or am I like bowing gently on the violin, or am I banging it with staccato movement? And then start to let yourself roll forward and backward, rounding through your spine, massaging through your back. If it feels like you want to, you can start to take it into a squat, even into standing. If I do, so even with this knee-ish injury, if I really use the momentum of my movement, it doesn't hurt my knee at all. So finding what feels good to you. And then let's take it into a forward fold, just hanging out. You can walk your butt from side to side, forward fold. Let your head drop down, surrender into the floor. Surrender, Dorothy. Breathe into it. Feel the rise and fall of your breath, really three-dimensional breath. Mobilizing your whole torso, imagining that every cell in your body is breathing. And in many ways, it is like the oxygen is moving through our body. Blood flow is moving through, carrying nutrition, eliminating waste. Lymph is taking away the toxins. Cerebrospinal fluid is in there doing a lot of the same stuff in our brain and nervous system, central nervous system. So giving yourself some fluidity in there as well. Even, let's do this. Let's just do this little walk forward on your sit bones, gentle and easy, and then walking back. It could be as big as you want it to be. So my mom was playing softball recently, and she had kind of a fall. She's not horribly injured, but she's dealing with a little bit of pain in one of her legs. And so she's been sort of discovering what she can and can't do.
And she discovered the other day that she could crawl without any pain. I mean, she can walk, she just can't walk far. So she's like, and I'm like, yes, it's so important, especially as we get older, to still be able to do the things that kids do, like to crawl, right? How is it in your body? You might need knee pads, you might have to do it on the carpet or on the mat, but let yourself find those patterns that babies learn how to do. These are great patterns for our body. Letting yourself find the crawl, because it may serve you someday. You may need to crawl, right? So be able to figure that out and have some access to it. Often, I feel like crawling pattern will reset our energy in a certain way, right? Our bodies have these different patterns that we go through. And when we take the tissue and really work it through all the patterns, the upper versus lower, the right versus left, the front versus the back, the contralateral movement, we're taking the tissue, the holding system of our fascia, which our nervous system is routed through, and we're giving it all this gentle massaging, right? That's what movement does. And that's why we want a real variety of movement, lots of spirals, lots of waves and ripples, so that we're inviting in this movement, and that our nervous system isn't getting like adhered to parts of our fascia. Like where things adhere, that's where things are not as well organized as they might be. And like fascia of people that don't move very much is more like boiled wool, like felt, like disorganized. And fascia, when people move more, like this is on like a microscopic level, right? Has more fluidity, more integration, more shifting and changing and adjusting, right? That's what allows us to move. So like our IT band, this big band on the outside of our thigh, people are like, oh, it's so tight. I'm like, if it wasn't tight, we couldn't walk, right? That is part of the reason we can stand, that tight IT band. Also, all this fascia going into our lower back, these big bandy parts of our tendons, like our ligaments are the things that give us the structure so that we have freedom. But underneath this layer, there's the skin, right? And the skin should be able to move over the tissue of the IT band. And then the IT band's going up and down. Under that is another layer of fascia that has this capacity. And we want those two layers to be able to move against each other. And under that is like another layer, like we're these layered, but these layers are also like interwoven and interconnected. We just want this fluidity and this capacity to move through the whole thing. And our nervous system is routing out from our brain down through our spinal cord, out through our arms, out through our legs. And it's moving through this matrix of fascia that is the holding of our body. And it's even like it's made out of fascia too. Like everything that's creating our form is, it's funny because it depends on who's talking, but we could say blood, bone, blood and bone and tendons and ligaments are all fascia, but not all fascia, they're all connective tissues, but they're not all fascia, depending on who's talking. Sorry, I'm going on this big rant about fascia because I was teaching something recently, and it's in the air, and people are like, oh, nobody was interested in fascia in the 90s. I was like, I was. But it's not about, the more that we're interested in it, great. The more that we can find out about our body. We're not in a competition about who knows the most, because it's a shifting field that's changing all the time. All right. Let's inhale and open. Clearly, that was for my own ego, that moment. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, open. It's good that people are talking about this stuff. It's good that we're learning more. It will always be an evolving field when we're talking about what we know about the brain and the body. Exhale. And the other thing is things are changing. Even the way humans' bodies are developing is shifting by what we require of them. Like if we spend all our time here, we start to get this little ridge on the back of our head. That is starting to grow on people. And exhale. Shake it all out, shake it all out, shake it all out. And it's probably not forming so much in the older people who are more formed already, but in younger people, look at this opportunity to adapt. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. I am going to close out the Zoom, not the Zoom,
the live stream. So people in TV land, I know there's a person watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there wasn't too much lecturing, or if there was, you learned something. And if I'm wrong, look it up. It's okay. We are sometimes wrong with what we say on the TV. All right. If you have great doubt,